Hi everyone, this is Sean. I'm gonna make this video about grail watches, my 5 grail watches. The 5 watches that I would buy if I could afford them. As well, I reached 1,000 subscribers and it took me a long time, but I finally did it. And I just want to thank the people who've subscribed and thank the people who watch the videos. And it is nice when people are watching the videos and people comment and say that the videos are being helpful or that they're interesting or whatever. I know this channel is not the most professional of channels and it's not the most I'm never going to be a millionaire from YouTube and things like that, but yeah, very much appreciated. In terms of the channel and its direction, I thought about kind of expanding the channel in terms of diversifying a little bit. But obviously I don't want to go too far away from the point of the channel in the first place. But my interests are wider than just watches. And I wonder what you would think about that. So I was thinking about a couple of things really, kind of mental health videos and stuff about, mental health and tips for dealing with it and things like that. That's first kind of idea that I've had, because it's something that I'm passionate about. But, I don't want to alienate the people who have been kind enough to subscribe with a complete change of direction, if you like. I know it's my channel and, I can do what I want with it, but I do want people to watch the videos because otherwise I can just talk to myself in a room on my own. So yeah, tell me what you think about that, diversifying a little bit. Because it is something that I'd quite like to do and I have quite varied interest. And one thing that would be interesting from my point of view is having it more as a kind of, this is me, this is my interest in my life and kind of a diary type thing, I guess. I do like that idea, because, I like music and hence the guitar on the wall. I like films and literature and French culture and things like that. But yeah, okay. So in terms of the grail watches, I thought I'd make that video really in terms of to look to the future in terms of the things that I would like in the future. And I will probably never buy all 5 of these watches because I will never be able to afford it. But these are the watches that I would buy if I had kind of unlimited money. And I don't know whether the list's boring or whether it's too obvious or whatever, but one thing I would say is I'm not going to name any Patek Philippe or any AP or anything like that. It just doesn't really appeal to me. And I was thinking about this, and I really like the Royal Oak. I really like the Nautilus, but it just seems too obvious. You got all this money and you just buy a Nautilus, and you've got all this money and you just buy a Royal Oak. And I want to be a bit more of an individual than that, I guess, even though it's false even trying to be an individual, because whatever watch you buy, a million other people have got it. But I think the way in which the watches like the Nautilus and the Royal Oak and Richard Mille and things like that are associated with people with money, it just becomes a, buy a watch by numbers type game, and you buy it because that's what everyone else of your station has. And I don't like that idea really. So I'm not slagging off anyone who owns a Nautilus or a Royal Oak. They're great watches, I love them, but it's just not for me. Without any further ado, I will present my 5 grail watches if anyone cares. So, the first one is a day date. I think day dates are mega cool. What would be really good is a kind of birth year day date. I was born in 1984, so day dates still existed. They still look relatively similar to what they are now. I'm not sure what reference number existed in 1984. I would wear a solid gold day date. I would wear a white gold one. I would definitely have to go vintage. I think in my lifetime, it is not beyond the realms of possibility that I would be able to buy a day date. A new day date, it is completely beyond the realms of possibility. So it would have to be a vintage one. I just think they're so cool, day dates. There's a little bit of irony in wearing a day date because they're really kind of old man's watches. But it's not quite ironic enough for it to just be about irony. They're lovely watches in themselves. You can wear it on a strap. You can wear it for dress occasions because it's quite small. You can swim with it. And it's just so cool. It's like, screw you, I've got a day date. Yeah, I love day dates. I think they're cool. So that would be the first one. The second grail watch, again, not beyond the realms of possibility that I would be able to buy this at some point in my life, is the Tank Louis Cartier, the manual wind version. Ever since I bought the Cartier Tank Must, it's just kind of affirmed to me how amazing a watch the Tank is. It's got so much history. It's beautiful. It's comfortable to wear. It's mega cool. It makes me feel stylish when I'm wearing it. It goes nice with smart clothes or with not smart clothes. And the gold Tank Louis would just be even better. It would make you feel like $1 million wearing it. And Cartier is a company that I really love because, it's not, they're not rare Cartiers, but they're just beautiful, and they look amazing. Aesthetically, Cartier is it's like wearing a work of art on your wrist. I think it's brilliant. Third would be the Omega No Time to Die watch, the titanium. I think that's an awesome sports watch. I think ever since I bought the Citizen ProMaster Tough, which is titanium as well, I've just really appreciated the idea of a titanium watch in terms of its comfort and in terms of, well, it's comfort. I can't think of anything else apart from its comfort. But the Omega No Time to Die is really nice looking. It's cool. I don't particularly like James Bond enough to buy a tie-in watch, and I don't like watches that tie in with films really, but this watch stands on its own. It's just a really, really nice watch, a really, really cool watch. So that's the third one. Fourth would be a GMT Master, but a 16710. So I think they were made between the late 80s and 2010, I think, was when the new Supercase version came out. And I would particularly like either a steel Jubilee with a Jubilee bracelet, or a two-tone with a Jubilee bracelet. I just think the older GMTs are just mega cool, and they wear really nicely. They look really cool, and the GMT function is just cool. And I'm using the word cool way too often. Che Guevara wore a GMT. You know what's not to like? And I've always wanted one of those, and they are really, really, really expensive. If I would have been born 10 years earlier, I would have been able to afford one, but as it is, probably not. And to be honest, I mean, those GMTs are probably not worth the money objectively, but they're cool. I like them. And last but not least, what is the last but not least? Can I remember the last but not least? I have it written here on my computer. So the last one is an Omega vintage Constellation. So, nothing mega special in terms of its value, but I just think they're really nice, the Constellations. They were like the higher end of the Omega range, and I would get one from the 50s or 60s, and they can be two-tone, they can be gold, they can be steel. Any of those I would quite like. I love the Constellation emblem on the back. The watches are really attractive, kind of mid-century designs, and I love a 34mm vintage dress watch, and those ones for me are great value. They're still pretty pricey, but in terms of what they are, they're great value, and I will probably buy one of them at some point because they're worth the money, I think. Yeah. So, tell me what your grail watches are, what your 5 grail watches are, and why. And also, tell me what you think about diversifying the channel a little bit and making videos about a wider range of things. And if you would like that, tell me what you would like me to make videos about. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Thank you.